Now, some royal
Bully
watchers are
or
wondering if
bullied.
Meghan's busy
The
schedule
new royal
is
scandal
catching up with
surrounding
her.
Meghan
John
Markle latest
Camilla is
revelations
traveling
about
with the royals.
bullying.
Prince Harry and Meghan were
The
also
revelation
given
of a
traditional
former
Fijian
royal
names.
staff member's admission of being
She told the
bullied by
crowd of
Meghan
her
has
own
sparked
grit
scrutiny
and
into Meghan's
determination.
behavior during her visit to the Suva market, where her demeanor was deemed unfavorable. Let's delve into this topic in today's video. Welcome back to the Royal 365 channel. In 2018, while on a tour spanning Australia, New Zealand, Fiji, and Tonga shortly after her wedding, Meghan Markle displayed an unexpected level of hostility towards the public, a departure from her previous trips. During this tour, the Fiji market hosted an event dedicated to women's empowerment and entrepreneurship. However, chaos ensued when Meghan abruptly ended her interaction and departed, accompanied by security, leaving many disappointed attendees in her wake. According to a Daily Mail reporter on the trip, Meghan was witnessed expressing anger towards a member of her entourage and insisted on leaving. Additionally, a charity employee at the event was observed sitting and crying, displaying signs of humiliation. Despite palace staff attributing the incident to a security concern, there was no substantiated evidence supporting this claim, fueling speculation about Meghan's dissatisfaction with the charity she was associated with. Her apparent disregard for the Fijian women and their efforts, as well as the insinuation of a security issue, were met with criticism. The presence of Fijian police at the event suggests that any security concerns would have been addressed. Meghan's offense at the sight of attendees wearing T-shirts representing another charity was viewed as disrespectful and rude, undermining the protocols that govern royal visits and their smooth operation. The aftermath of this event significantly tarnished Meghan's public image and impacted the success of the tour, leaving media personnel and attendees bewildered and disappointed. Comparing this incident to other royal visits, such as Queen Elizabeth II's poignant trips to Bergen-Belsen and the Republic of Ireland in 2011, underscores the importance of conducting engagements with sensitivity and cultural awareness to leave a positive impact. It's evident that Meghan lacks the qualities necessary to represent the royal family, being flawed and narcissistic, unable to empathize with others. Both Meghan and Harry displayed discourteous behavior during their visit to Fiji, tarnishing the beauty of the land with their rudeness. Accounts from attendees in Wellington describe them bypassing the crowd without acknowledgement, heading straight into the venue. Harry, previously a frequent visitor to New Zealand, seemed to adopt this behavior following Meghan's arrival. Regrettably, he appeared unable to confront her unacceptable conduct. Meghan's actions could be deemed detrimental to the royal family's attempts at unity, yet the mainstream media largely overlooked her faults. Their Australian, Fiji, and New Zealand trips showcased Meghan's disgraceful behavior. Notably, no member of the royal family typically rushes such visits. One wonders if Australia would even welcome King Charles this year, given the sour taste left by Harry and Meghan's actions. Their indifference to the harm caused reflects Meghan's lack of commitment to her royal duties from the outset. Instead of diligently learning from credible sources to fulfill her role, her focus was solely on attaining the title through marriage to Harry, which she achieved. Knowing Harry's position as unlikely to ascend the throne and her own as never to become queen, Meghan resented the constraints of royal life, desiring adulation without the responsibilities. Her influence over the susceptible prince led him away from his family. Beyond their titles and Harry's position on the State Advisory Council, neither Harry nor Meghan contribute significantly to the UK. If anything, Meghan's actions tend to destroy rather than construct. Reflecting on the images from Fiji market, we witness the true nature of this couple. One can only imagine the disappointment of the staff meeting them for the first time at such an event. These women painstakingly prepared the market, only to be treated poorly by a spiteful narcissist. Meghan's interest in female empowerment seems limited to herself. It's disheartening to see such exploitation of these kind-hearted women seeking just a moment of her time. Meghan seemed to forget her role as a representative of the Queen, treating the privilege as a mere inconvenience dictated by her own whims. The unfortunate choice of Harry's marriage to Meghan unfolded as a regrettable chapter in the annals of the royal family's history. Meghan's entry into the fold seemed to herald nothing but trouble and discord. It becomes increasingly evident that the royal family would be markedly improved without the presence of both Harry and Meghan. Harry, your apparent lack of respect for the family you once professed to hold dear casts a shadow of disappointment upon your actions. Meghan's behavior in Fiji underscores why it's fortunate they didn't remain in the UK to fulfill royal duties. When the late Queen extended an invitation, only to be rebuffed by Meghan's excuse of being busy, it marked the tipping point. This led to Meghan's hasty departure to Canada under the watchful eye of Sophie. Her disruptive behavior persists regardless of her location. How could these lazy, incompetent individuals be trusted with high-level state tasks? They repeatedly canceled royal engagements and showed up late to others. Meghan demonstrated zero commitment, seeking only to live lavishly without reciprocating. She was a burden on the monarchy, prompting the late Duke's decision, likely influenced by palace officials, to remove her from the UK. Blaming the papers for their woes, Harry showed his own folly. A closer examination reveals that Meghan is the source of many unstable occurrences. Her failures stem from a profound lack of originality or thought. She exudes an air of superiority without any semblance of class, only crassness. Take, for instance, her disgraceful conduct at Charles's 70th birthday garden party, where she expressed boredom aloud, prompting Charles to ask them to leave. This incident occurred shortly after their wedding, highlighting Meghan's consistently appalling behavior. Perhaps nowhere did Meghan leave a more unfavorable impression than in Australia. Persistent rumors of bullying and rudeness towards staff abound. There were even instances where Meghan purportedly demanded that the Governor-General and his wife vacate Admiralty House to accommodate her entourage. She reportedly expressed disbelief at not being compensated for a walkabout, actions that Australians won't soon forget, likely leading them to be among the first to reject the grifter duo. It's evident that Meghan's primary concern is herself, plain and simple. This self-centeredness underscores her unsuitability for royalty. Together with her husband, they are nothing more than a pitiable joke and a source of ridicule. Meghan's father once told her she could be anything, and she seems to have chosen to excel in being the pathological liar coupled with her despicable behavior. She exhibits traits of a mid-range narcissist with an unjustifiably inflated sense of entitlement, craving attention and adulation. Despite Meghan's daily display of her malevolence, there are those foolish enough to overlook or justify her abhorrent ignorance, making them even more foolish than she. This includes her blindly loyal supporters who excuse her reprehensible behavior. Consider her conduct during the South Africa tour, where she lamented not being asked if she was okay, or her disrespectful actions during the tour of Morocco, such as publicly holding hands and greeting the Moroccan king before the prince, which no justification can excuse. It's likely that the late Queen experienced a sense of embarrassment due to the conduct of her representatives during their international tours. Meghan and Harry's behavior underscores a profound deficiency in understanding across various spheres, indicating a failure to comprehend the significance of representing an entire nation. This deficiency sets them apart from the late Queen. Consider Queen Elizabeth's visit to Ireland, focused on reconciling the nation's troubled history, where both she and Prince Philip displayed profound respect and acknowledgement of the country's past. Meghan and Harry, consumed by self-interest, are incapable of comprehending such gestures, as evidenced by Meghan's conduct in the markets. There should be absolutely no tolerance for Harry and Meghan's evident lack of dedication, even considering their status as non-direct heirs to the throne. It's imperative to recognize that during that specific time frame, they not only retained their titles but also held significant roles as senior members of the royal family. As such, they bore the responsibility of representing not only the monarchy but also the entire nation on the global stage. Each member of the royal family is committed and diligent. Take Princess Anne, for example. I had the privilege of meeting her at an event. Despite the dreary weather, she made a point of engaging with every person present, those who worked for, volunteered for, and benefited from the charity's services. Princess Anne's approach was masterful. She used information about each individual to spark meaningful conversations, expressing gratitude for their contributions. Her dedication ensures that volunteers and charity workers feel valued and appreciated. One can only imagine Meghan engaging in such tedious yet crucial interactions. Her past behavior, even in the early days of her marriage to Harry, reveals a consistent pattern of mistreatment towards others. Meghan consistently evades accountability for her actions. She distanced herself from the United Nations Women Group after a previous dispute stemming from her desire for a prominent leadership role within the organization. During their visit to the market in Fiji, Meghan's encounter with representatives from UnWomen exemplified a troubling pattern. Rather than prioritizing her duties, Meghan allowed personal grievances to overshadow her responsibilities. This led to a regrettable display of rudeness and disrespect as she abruptly instructed her royal staff to terminate the visit, leaving those who had eagerly awaited her arrival feeling bewildered and disappointed by her thoughtless actions. Such behavior not only reflects poorly on Meghan's professionalism but also undermines the goodwill and anticipation surrounding royal engagements. Meghan's unwillingness to interact with individuals representing a challenging past, despite their extended wait, highlights her callous and unprofessional attitude. In stark contrast to the late Queen, who graciously entertained even controversial guests in the pursuit of diplomacy and duty, Meghan demonstrates a lack of comprehension or willingness to discharge her obligations with dignity and grace. This divergence in behavior underscores the importance of humility and respect in royal engagements, traits that Meghan appears to lack in her approach to public. Meghan's immature and unprofessional conduct reflects a disturbing sense of entitlement and self-importance. Her reluctance to engage in work, unless compensated, reveals a glaring deficiency in maturity and dedication to her role. The fact that her behavior went largely unreported at the time raises concerns and hints at a past shielded by the royal family. Such revelations cast doubt on Meghan's suitability for royal duties and underscore the need for accountability and transparency in her actions. It's a betrayal of trust that both Meghan and Harry, who were once protected by the monarchy, have turned against the very people who supported them. Thankfully, the Sussex couple has relinquished their role in representing the royal family, a move that has been met with relief by many. The glaring distinction lies in the stark contrast between their conduct and that of other members of the royal family. While the latter exhibit a demeanor characterized by humility and a lack of expectation for special treatment, Harry and Meghan's behavior has been marred by a sense of entitlement and a disregard for the dignity of those around them. This fundamental difference underscores the importance of humility and respect in royal engagements, traits which the Sussex couple failed to embody during their tenure as senior royals. They exhibit humility and kindness, qualities starkly absent in Meghan, who appears devoid of human emotions or empathy. Meghan and Harry, in contrast, demand special treatment and behave as though they are entitled. Their behavior and expectations have led them to become elitist, disregarding the norms of decency. Initially welcomed with open arms, Meghan proceeded to treat everyone and everything as disposable, showing disdain for interacting with commoners. Repeatedly, it has been asserted that Meghan's behavior, marked by low-class demeanor, disrespect, and lack of integrity, renders her unsuitable for decent society, as well as for various communities and cultures. The notion of trusting Harry and his partner to undertake tours is akin to entrusting hormonal, moody teenagers with promoting an important cause they simply weren't up to the task. Harry's claim that the royal family was jealous of Meghan's supposed superiority is delusional. Similarly, his assertion of the Australian tour's success, contradicted by the reception upon their return, underscores the embarrassment they caused. Their departure from Australia without sincere apologies for the abrupt exit was beyond rude, especially considering the efforts made by those expecting their visit. The Oprah interview only served to highlight the discrepancies and contradictions in their narratives. Allowing such behavior from Meghan within the palace was a mistake, but fortunately Megxit occurred. Such actions are not indicative of a good leader with empathy for the public. It's no surprise to see Meghan reverting to her previous pursuits like selling jam, as her primary interest always seemed to be money and fame. In this narrative, Harry appears as an immature individual, easily swayed by Meghan's manipulation. Their early discussions with Netflix and other ventures in 2019, coupled with Meghan's continuous communication with her Los Angeles advisors during her stay in the UK, and suggest a premeditated plan to capitalize on their titles. Meghan despised all royal duties, deeming herself above them. She famously expressed disbelief, stating, "I can't believe we're not getting paid for this." Her behavior during the Fiji tour was appalling. The Fiji tour revealed that Meghan Markle was never, and would never be, a humanitarian. Rather than representing the Commonwealth and showing support to Fiji, Meghan's focus was solely on herself. From the moment Meghan walked down the aisle on her wedding day, her self-centered nature became glaringly obvious. The Fijian people must have felt a profound sense of disillusionment as they witnessed their high hopes crumble in the face of the visitors' deplorable conduct. Despite the warmth of their genuine friendships, the finesse of their craft skills, and the elegance of their grace, Meghan finds herself isolated, her relationships shattered, and her accomplishments reduced to mere pots of jam. Even as the car whisked her away, Meghan made no effort to acknowledge the waiting crowd with a wave, opting instead to fix her gaze straight ahead. Her indifference was palpable, reflecting her disdain for the occasion. It lacked the glitz and glamour she craved. Through her actions, Meghan laid bare her detachment from people, a stark contrast to her attempts to present herself as attuned to their struggles, even those of her own racial background. Neither Meghan nor Harry possessed the qualities of true royalty, evidenced by their marriage. Despite being handed an amazing life, Meghan's dissatisfaction led her to throw it all away. I hope they will eventually retreat to a quiet life, but it's unlikely, and as Harry's wife craves attention like others need oxygen. Harry's complaint about attention since birth contrasts with his current desire for it, indicating his lack of importance. He, too, seeks the spotlight and camera flashes. Their disgrace extends even to their titles. The swifter their titles are revoked, rendering them unusable even in the US, the more preferable it would be. Their attitude suggests a belief in their superiority over the British royals, behaving as if they are beyond reproach. Harry's selection of Meghan, or rather her selection of him, casts a shadow of doubt over both their characters. Revoking their titles would put an end to this saga once and for all. Revelations continue to emerge about their manipulative tactics. Will we ever learn the truth about surrogacy or Meghan's alleged assault on a staff member with hot tea? Perhaps the royal reporters could investigate the reported fire at their residence in South Africa. It's time for interviews with the staff and witnesses present that day. We need more exposes like these. As royal reporters, you've witnessed the rude behavior exhibited by Meghan and Harry during public engagements. Recall the incident where Meghan ignored a little boy seeking her attention, or the time she gave her mother a hostile glare when interrupted in the presence of Harry. Recall the occasion when Meghan disregarded instructions from staff and walked ahead of the late Queen during a train journey. This blatant display of insubordination not only showcased Meghan's disdain for her royal responsibilities, but also underscored her singular focus on fulfilling her own desires, regardless of protocol or respect for seniority. She neglected her royal responsibilities just as she exploited Spotify. Meghan failed to understand that being royal entails more than personal gratification. She is simply too selfish. If the media ceased giving them attention, they would be lost. Narcissistic behavior thrives on attention, and Meghan is no exception. The best approach to dealing with a narcissist is to laugh and walk away. If only Meghan had committed herself wholeheartedly to her royal duties, perhaps the narrative surrounding her would be different today. However, her lack of diligence was evident in her failure to even peruse the dossiers provided before tours, resulting in her ignorance regarding the presence of certain significant individuals, such as those women at the markets. This negligence not only reflects poorly on her work ethic, but also highlights her disregard for the importance of preparation and attention to detail in fulfilling her royal obligations. Other members of the royal family meticulously prepare themselves regarding the people, customs, and culture before their visits. The incident in Morocco clearly demonstrated Meghan's lack of preparation. Disregarding her husband, Prince Harry, to grab the king's hand first was a display of bad manners. During another event, she attempted to walk on the red carpet, prompting the British ambassador's wife to intervene and direct her to walk on the concrete beside it. Meghan's non-royal background contrasts sharply with her husband's privilege, evident in her tours marked by despicable behavior and an arrogant attitude toward those she meets. Throughout her time as a royal, Meghan consistently demonstrated her failure to understand the essence of royalty. Her goal upon marrying Harry was never to fulfill the duties of a royal. She simply doesn't comprehend the principles of service, hard work, and humility integral to royal duties. Her departure from royal life, meticulously planned from the outset after achieving her objectives of marrying Harry and attaining a title, further underscores her true motivations. This concludes our discussion. What are your thoughts on the visit of the Sussex couple? Please share your opinions with us in the comments. If you agree with my perspective, please indicate. If not, kindly express your viewpoint so we can understand. Don't forget to like and share the video. Your support encourages us. Subscribe for notifications on our latest videos. We'll return soon. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.